Celestial Blessings, this is Helen Demetriou, and this is another edition of Angel Stories of personal experiences I've had with angels. And in this edition, I'm going to talk to you about when angels use people, they work through people to give help. So I'd actually driven to get some takeaway from my family and I was single, and I'd driven to this place. I was getting KFC actually. It's a place in Bearwood in Birmingham, and there's like a row of shops. Like in England, you'll always find like a row of shops and then houses. So usually there's a takeaway, there's usually a pharmacy, a liquor store, which we call an off-licence, or a wine cellars. There'll probably be a dress shop. There'll be a place that sells newspapers, etc., etc. So I was walking to go to this KFC. And I noticed that a woman had walked out of the pharmacy. She was busy, putting her purse back in her bag. She just, bought something from the pharmacy. And as she was walking past me, I was walking towards. So she would have walked in front of me, and I was walking towards this KFC. And all of a sudden, she stopped, and right in front of me, and said to me, "Hello." And I said to her, "Hello." I didn't know who she was at all, never seen her in my life. Normal lady, she looked about 50. By what she was wearing, she wasn't somebody that was rolling in money or anything. And she says to me, "I've got something to tell you." Now, come on, you're going to KFC, and all of a sudden this woman stops you in the street, tells you, say hello, and tells you that she's got something to say to you. So I'm thinking, wow, what's she going to tell me, I said, okay. She said, "Are you okay with that? Can I have your permission?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can have my permission." I'm rubbing my hands together. I think I was about 20 at the time. She says to me, "You're going to be somebody in the public eye, and you're going to work with angels. And I have an angel working through me right now that told me that I must speak to you and tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of sadness in your 20s. You will get married, you will have 2 boys, and you will move to another country. You'll sell your car, and you'll say goodbye to your family, and you'll move to your dad's country," she said. So far, I knew that obviously it's got to be Cyprus because my dad's from Cyprus, and I had a car. And she says to me, "You're going to help a lot of people in your life. You're going to be somebody that people follow, that people look up to, and you're going to be a sort of an example to people of how to be happy. You're going to guide people." Now, remember, at this time, I had not studied anything to do with healing or even angels. I hadn't studied them, even though I used to see them. I wasn't working in Reiki. I'd been to college. I did my beauty therapy, aromatherapy. And even though the books that I did buy were all on ghosts and the paranormal. So I thought to myself, this sounds a bit, okay, she was right that my dad's from another country. I would love to go and live in Cyprus. So she just kept saying to me, everything's going to be all right. You do have some sadness. She said, and this comes from all the women in your family, which I knew at that time was true, that all of the women in my family had suffered. They've all suffered. She said, but it's up to you to make this stop. But you won't do this until you've suffered quite a few years of pain and turmoil. You will have many times when you feel that you just want to give up and that life gets so bad, but you'll carry on. This is part of your lessons. So I said, okay, and thank you. And she said, just remember, the angels told me this. And I said, thank you again. And she walked off, and I was like in a daze and going into KFC. I was thinking, okay, you always have to take it with a pinch of salt what someone else tells you, because it was all about the future. It wasn't anything that they usually say to you, oh, you're going to You're going to meet a tall, dark stranger and cross a body of water. It was nothing like that. And that is what shocked me. The fact that she stopped me in the street. She wasn't like, you know, going round trying to tell people's fortunes. And, you know, that was an amazing reading for me. So as it turns out, in the future, I did get married to someone in Cyprus. I moved to Cyprus. I sold my car. I had 2 children. I had a lot of sadness until the time I was about 27, something like that. I had a lot of sadness, a lot of upheavals, traumas. There was very many times where I felt, you know, how much can a human being take? And I started working with angels, and it was only until afterwards that I remembered this woman, what she'd said to me. And I realised, you know, it all come true, but let's just see if the rest is going to come true. But I truly believe that the angels were working with her. And I have to say something, that I have had all my life people stop me on the street, or if I go somewhere into a shop, I'll have these weird experiences where people just come up to me and say something, tell me something about me or about my future out of nowhere. And they'll say to me, you know, I have a message for you, or I recognise you, or you look so much like somebody that I know, and she's like this, that and the other. And I've noticed that I've had this a lot in my life. Another thing that I noticed I have is that people say to me, I feel like I've known you in another lifetime. I feel like I know you. I recognise you. I resonate with your energy, your soul. And I'll have a lot of people telling me, people that I've never met, and they'll email me and they'll say to me, I had a dream about you last night. And usually we're in a school and I'm teaching in a class and they're my students. And it just does, you know, that part of it does baffle me. Why people come up to me in the street and start talking to me about angels, or about, I truly believe that the angels are working through these people to give me messages. So thank you for listening. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.